Welcome to the Warning Track Power Hour. I am Dr. Andrew Scaff. He is Dr. Michael Worman, Esquire. On today's show, we'll eventually get to our Major League Baseball season preview. We'll go through a couple win total projections for a couple of teams that we each do every year and typically do not do very well on as the season progresses. We'll talk about the NCAA college basketball tournaments, which have been pretty chalky so far. And we'll check in on our brackets and see which methodology has done the best so far. But we will kick off today with a tiny bit about NFL offseason news. Our beloved Kansas City Chiefs have, I guess, officially signed uh, Travis Kelce to a 1 year, $12 million guaranteed deal with up to 3 million in additional incentives in a like technical 3 year contract, but it seems like it's only really a 1 year deal. There've been some like draft projections, I think, for the Chiefs and some new mock drafts. Mike, anything moving the needle for you in the off season the Chiefs news?
Not this week, really. We had Justin Fields. The Justin Fields signing was, I think, an interesting signing last week.
Yeah,
We'll wait to see how he settles into the team. We knew Kelsey was going to be re-signed. We didn't know the details, and I don't know if
yeah,
we still have details. It seems like it's a little weird because like some places are reporting a 3 year deal, some places are reporting just a 1 year deal. Whether it's maybe just was it Google AI said it was dummy years on the 3 year deal or something. So I'm not
yeah,
sure what with that, but um, it's good that he's been signed, and it seems like this is probably going to be his last year, I would guess, but who knows? Um, and yeah, I guess the biggest worry is so you wonder how Mahomes' injury rehab is going.
right.
Um, the mock drafts are always, I guess, somewhat interesting since the Chiefs have the number 9, the number 29, and the number 40, I believe, pick. So three in the top 40 this year. Um,
Yeah,
It's pretty unusual. So they could trade up, trade back with a lot of the draft capital. So yeah, picking a wide receiver, I think I saw um, first overall or number 9 overall. I guess it could happen. I would guess probably they'd go for like a defensive end type edge rusher early, if
offensive
possible.
linemen. Like we don't really know, right? What they see as their biggest need versus what's available to them at the time too, because you don't really
Yeah.
know who's going to be off the board at number 9. There's a lot of things going to happen. We've done our mock drafts before, and it's pretty tough to figure out what's going to happen. There's just too many variables, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's hard to say um what's gonna happen. There's too many variables. You also have a lot of possibilities of trades, not only trades with the Chiefs, but trades with the other teams up and down. You don't know what numbers the Chiefs are actually going to have. Are they going to trade down? Are they going to trade up? Are they going to keep it the same? Are they going to, package multiple picks to move up there? So yeah, it's one of those things where you don't really know what's going to happen. So it's kind of dumb to forecast, but it's fun to read
Yeah.
the forecast, I think sometimes. But um, yeah, I don't know who they're going to pick, but I
We
would
all
say
kind of know what their bigger needs are. We just don't know who's going to be available at the time
yeah,
and what would have happened before, leading up to that pick to see what, happens on draft day. That, because that can really affect how the draft plays out. If something weird happens early, then
yeah.
somebody they like is still on the board. They could move up a spot or two. You could see that
Yeah.
happening.
Well, we know they're not going to pick a quarterback. Uh, Probably not going to pick a
It'd
running
be
back
really
since
unlikely.
they signed Kenneth Walker. Um,
Yeah. But they could still pick up another running back at some point because we saw how, well Kenneth Walker plays when he doesn't have to be overtaxed.
yeah, they did sign a couple. They did sign what was that guy's name from the Cardinals? They signed the Chiefs.
Hmm.
Um, um, can't remember his name.
Just recently picked up another running back.
Yeah. Yeah, as a potential backup.
Oh, I hadn't even heard that name.
MRA Demercado.
Oh, I
Somewhat
hadn't even
sounds
heard that.
Amari Demercado. So it sounds a little bit Stephen Toasty, I think.
Nice. That is very much a Stephen Toast name.
Amari Demercado. Steve,
Amari DeMarcano?
yes, I can hear you, Amari Demercado. Clem Fandango. Um, yeah, Amari Demercado is going to be the probably primary backup to Kenneth Walker. At least that's what it looks like at this point. But yeah, so I would say not a running back, probably not first anyway. Since they got
Yeah,
their running in the in free agency. Um, probably, yeah, I could see a defensive end since they didn't really pick up. They haven't picked up a defensive end in free agency. They haven't gotten any real pass rush help. Um, linebacker, they lost Chenal. They lost. Um, this is all they lost. They still both still have Tranquil.
yeah. The corners and safeties, the secondary took a lot of
Secondary took a lot.
hits.
Yeah, so it could be a second. I could see as a secondary pick as a primary, a secondary pick as a primary pick.
Yes. Could
Um,
happen. Really, it just
I
depends
don't
on who's
see them
there, right?
drafting I don't see them drafting an offensive lineman early because I think they've got at least four um, or five offensive linemen kind of down as starters this year. So I would be surprising unless they think somebody's a big improvement over Jalen Moore as the right tackle.
Yeah.
Because Simmons is pretty well entrenched, and Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith and Suamataia are going to be the interior linemen. So um, yeah, I don't. I would see yeah defensive line help or yeah, maybe a playmaking wide receiver since they haven't gotten a whole lot of you. Since you don't know what's going to happen with Rasheed Rice. Is he going to be suspended again? Uh, and you
Yeah.
don't know. Worthy has been inconsistent. He's been so maybe yeah maybe they just throw more money at the wide receiver room. I'm not sure.
And that is what Field Yates from ESPN has suggested in his most recent mock draft on ESPN. But they do have three edge rushers going before pick number 9 for the Chiefs. So, if somebody trades up and one of those or something and one of those edge rushers is still available, maybe the Chiefs end up with an edge rusher there instead of a wide receiver as they project here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things that can happen draft
Mhm.
days. Yeah, frequently somebody's trying to move up to get quarterback or some particular player that they have their eyes on, right? So would you guess, Mike, that the Chiefs would be more likely to pick at number 9 or trade that pick up or down?
Um, hard to say. I'm gonna say they're gonna stay at number nine. I'm gonna say they're not gonna trade up or down. I think they'll stay at
No,
nine. But I'd say it's like 60-40 probably. I don't know.
not great odds. That's probably, not
I
worth spending a lot of time talking
I would
about then
guess they trade.
for us.
I would guess maybe they trade back rather than trade up if they had to
Yeah,
trade one or the other. But
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
They played
Yeah.
their way into the ninth pick, so you might think they're gonna want to stay around number nine, and yeah.
Yeah, not trade too far down, but because there's not like maybe there's a team that has multiple picks
Well, there aren't any
that they're picking up in.
quarterbacks really that are going to go in the first round, other than Mendoza probably, and maybe Ty Simpson or something in the end of the first round. But there aren't many, yeah, quarterbacks that are worth trading up for. So that would be a
Yeah,
more volatile. drafted, there were a lot of quarterbacks, and like the Chiefs, of course, don't need a quarterback, so um, you know they don't need a backup quarterback even at this point. It doesn't look like so they've got all their they maybe a developmental quarterback in round five, six, seven, something like that, but that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. Field Yates has two QBs in the first round, but that's it. Not one, number one, and then not till like 26 or so. So it's probably not like a coveted spot to like move up to number nine to get a QB there because it doesn't look like there's anybody else. You can wait 15 picks and not have to give up as much capital to get to the number nine
Mhm.
spot, right? Yeah. No. So, yeah, I don't know. But we know Kelsey's back, so that's good for Chiefs fans.
Yeah,
Band back together for one more run.
yeah. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, good that he's back. A tight end, I guess, maybe it'd be a pick at some point. A developmental tight end uh, would be somebody. I guess you still have Noah Gray and some of the other, I guess Jake Wiley and stuff like that, but they haven't done a whole lot um, beyond Kelce in the tight end room lately. So it's hard to say what they'll pick. But yeah, we'll see what
That's
happens. Draft. Yeah, when is the NFL draft?
this article doesn't say, but
April 20 or April 23rd through 25th.
so we still have about a month
Yeah, in
before
Pittsburgh.
before we officially do our draft preview and maybe our own picks as we've done
Yeah,
in the past.
we could. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe it'll be easier to pick this year if we don't expect a lot of like movement looking for QB trades moving up in the early rounds.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of quarterback prospects this go around. So
No
um it seems like most teams have already gotten their quarterbacks for this coming year, the free agency or in
trades or
trades. Yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of coming up, we have baseball season on the horizon. The Royals players are back after their experience in the World Baseball Classic that actually ended in a Venezuela victory over the United States, which we were watching as last week's episode came to an end. Venezuela won 3-2 over Team USA. Michael Garcia and Salvador Perez and one other, can't remember the pitcher's name for the
I think Avila was in the bullpen for sure.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then former Royal Angel Zerpa was there as well, but for
Yeah.
Venezuela. Yeah, it's a lot of familiar faces for Royals fans, and also on Team USA, but
USA
like
and
a
Team
walk on.
Team Italy.
Yeah, there were like yeah, several players from Italy that were also Royals. So yeah, the Royals team was really depleted in spring training, while
Yeah, they haven't
a
done
lot
very
of the
well in spring
stars were having
training.
more fun probably playing in the World Baseball Classic.
I believe the Royals are last in the Cactus League this year. They're I think
Hmm,
9-19-1 or something like that was their spring training record.
that's
Um,
not great.
you think that matters?
No, not at all. I don't think
Because
so.
it's not even the regular Royals players that are playing, so it's hard to say what they're doing. I think they got some good experience in the World Baseball Classic, so
Yeah,
maybe that's where the Royals are going to be. Um,
9-21-1. Like it got worse
ooh.
after today.
Wasn't Michael Garcia, wasn't he the MVP of the World Baseball Classic?
I think so. I think he drove in the winning run in the semifinal game, and then I think he drove in the well, what ended up being like the second run, I think, which was the lead run for most of the game until Team USA
Mhm.
tied it late on a
Yeah.
late home run.
Yeah, Garcia had 10 hits, home run against Japan in the quarterfinals, RBI in the final.
Yeah. Salvi caught, I think, the final game too, right? And
Hmm.
sure that helped having the veteran presence there behind the plate.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, speaking of predictions, the Royals, we want to so you want to make our predictions for the Royals season? You think the Royals are a playoff team this year, Dr. Scaff, or are they a team that's sort of just missed out? I think that's probably the options that most people have. They are. I don't think they're not going to be a 100 loss team. I think that's probably pretty sure.
Shouldn't be. They should be more likely to be a winning team than a losing team. But yeah, it's just tough to say if they're going to be a playoff team or not because like you really don't know how the division's going to shake out. But they should be at least in the hunt until at least late in the season is the
I hope so. Yeah.
assumption.
The
Because they
Royals.
seem like they should be moving forward. They didn't really lose a lot of players this season. Seem to have
No.
made some at least minor additions that could help the outfield, maybe give some extra punch. They're probably mostly looking for a couple of players to step forward, like Jack Caglione. Oh, that would basically fix the whole franchise. If Caglione has a decent year, then the team should
Yeah.
be better than last year. And that because that was what they were missing last year was some outfield pop. So
Yeah.
if they manage to get that and not get distracted with these extra bats that they picked up in the off season, then they could have a pretty good year. So,
Yeah.
but really, it just depends on. Unfortunately, that's to put a lot of pressure on one guy, but it kind of is riding on Caglianone's development.
Caglione. If not Caglione, then Carter Jensen is also another um,
Yeah, you really need to
prospect.
see something out of the outfield, and it seems like the most likely chance you're going to get something out of the outfield is if Kegs
Would they
does
stick?
well.
Would they stick Jensen in the outfield, or is he not? He's more of a catcher
I
prospect.
think
And
they're. I think we'll just use him as a DH and catcher. I think. Hopefully, he'll get a little bit more behind the plate experience than than they've been giving for their backup catcher the
Mhm.
last couple of years. Like, I mean, if Sal's having to spend 130 games behind the plate, then he's going to be pretty exhausted as the season goes on because he is aging, Mike.
Yeah,
He's got a lot of innings behind the plate.
yeah, yeah. Luinder Avila. That's the guy. That's the other guy on the um,
Yeah,
Venezuela team.
Avila.
He's
Yeah,
he was a he looks like he is the number 9 current prospect for the Royals according to MLB.com.
yeah.
Carter Jensen is number 1, and then we have Blake Mitchell, another catching prospect, number 2.
Yeah, he was the prospect that I think we talked about a bit when he was drafted
Yeah,
in the high school catcher prospect. He was injured for a lot of last season, so hopefully he can make some advancement this year as well. But he'll be at like high A or maybe double A by the end of the year.
probably. Yeah, they say estimated time of arrival to the majors is 2027 for Blake Mitchell.
Yeah.
He was not a popular pick among the Scaff household, at least when he was first taken, a high school catcher. You thought that was the a very high risk, possibly low reward pick.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's like the least likely to become a major leaguer, I guess, from all of the either prep or college and then any of the position groups. But also, there was a college catcher who had done quite well, who has now already made it to the majors, Mike, and had a successful like second half of last year in Kyle Teal
Hmm.
playing for a rival White Sox team, which isn't very good, but he's still been successful in the major leagues already, while Blake Mitchell has barely played minor league games because of injuries. Not great, right? That's played out poorly in their choices right now already, which is not what you want to see, right?
No, but we'll see what happens. Sometimes long, you know, it takes
It's
a
a
little
long
while.
career in theory.
Yeah.
One 1.5 years is not really the length of time that you can judge these things,
Hmm.
but it's off to a bad start, Mike. No.
Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, so the Royals. We'll take a think about the Royals. I think what is their over under win total this year by according to FanDuel? I believe it's 82 and a half wins.
82 and a half.
So they're either gonna over would be 83 and 79 or better, under would be 82
Yes.
80 or worse.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think of the are you gonna go over or under 82 and a half?
So I'm going to take the under because I prefer to like be pleasantly disappointed, with my pick. If the team does well and my pick was wrong, I'm okay with that. That's how I tend to go about this type of pick anyway. So I'm going to take the under, but hope for the best.
I'm gonna
How
go
about
with
you?
the over and also hope for the best. And hope that my over that they go over the 83 and 82 and a half wins, so 83 79 at least. I think they
Yeah,
probably need a 5 or 86 to sniff the playoffs. Um,
right. Unless they go on like a 7 or 8 game win streak to end the season,
yeah, it depends. I guess
then
they can win
then
the
they should
division
be like in the hunt,
early.
right? The last 10 games or so, if they're around that winning percentage.
Yeah. And they might have a better chance of winning the division than winning a wild card
True.
also. So they have I think the Tigers are the only divisional team with more wins predicted than the Royals, 85 and a half for the Tigers. Cleveland is 78 and a half. The White Sox 67 and a half, and the Twins 72 and a half. So the Royals right now are kind of solidly predicted to be second place in the division. But if they could, leap over Detroit, then it wouldn't really matter how many wins they had. They'd be able to win the division. Um,
Yeah,
so maybe that's what we'll hope for.
but it's not that big of a gap between those two in projection before the first game of the season.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot to happen between then and or now and then. But
Yeah, so we made three other predictions in terms of over under win totals. Would you like to go through what is your second team that you're picking beyond the Royals? We both picked the Royals and we each picked three other teams for over
yeah,
unders.
so I stayed in the division for one pick. I think the Twins seem like they like kind of oscillate between good and bad seasons. Last season was a not so good season. So my guess is that they're going to have a little bit of a bounce back year. So I've got them over 72 and a half wins.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, certainly. They're kind of a yo-yo team. Um, I did the I decided to pick another team that I picked last year over under, and I picked the Pirates. The Pirates are 78 and a half, which I thought seems fairly high for Pittsburgh. So I'm going to go under 78 and a half for the Pirates this year. Um, and yeah,
I took
I
them
think I was
over last year and they ended up just under.
yeah. I think they were only like 70 or something last year.
I think they were a 71 win team last season. The over under was like 75 and a half.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under 78 and a half. How about your uh yeah, you're picking both New York teams, I believe, this year.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going yeah. Both New York teams are at 90 and a half wins. Is their over under for each of them? Mets tend to be underachievers. I'm going to stick with that pick for my next one. I'm going to stick with the Mets being under 90 and a half wins for my
Okay.
third pick.
My third pick is going to be the Brewers. They were a good team last year. Brewers over 84 and a half this year. So 85 77 or better. Brewers over 84 and a half. And then what's your final pick, Dr. Scaff? Yankees.
My final pick, back to New York teams, also 90 and a half wins for the Yankees. I picked them under last year, having lost one of their primary players, but they still managed to go over anyway, defying what my prediction was last year. So I'm gonna just join them this year. I'll pick the over on the Yankees at 90.5 for my fourth pick.
Over in the Yankees. I'm going to stick in the same. I'm going to stick in the AL East. The Blue Jays were the sort of surprise team last year in terms of standings. They're predicted to be very good again this year. 87 and a half wins. I'm going to go under, however, for the Blue Jays. I don't think they'll be quite as strong as they were last year. So under 87 and a half. So Brewers under, Pirates under. I mean, Blue Jays under, Pirates under, Brewers over, Royals over.
I've got Royals and Mets under, Yankees and Twins over for my picks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the expert picks too, just before we started this, and they were very tight around the Royals projections. Whereas the the ESPN has them at like 83 and 80, so just over. MLB Trade Rumors has them like just under 82 and 80, and FanDuel has or FanGraphs has them at basically at a 500 record. So they're all very tight, right around that over under number too. So
It's hard to beat those over unders consistently.
yeah, yeah, we have not done all that well with them. I think
I guess I
maybe
was
got
two and
three
two
three of
last.
the eight last year. We
I
each
think I
go
was two
two and
and two
two,
last.
or
I was either 2 and 2 or 3 and 1.
yeah, I always forget what we did on those. We were both two and two. Yeah, so that was probably our best that we've done in a while. Yeah, season win totals have not been our friends.
No,
It doesn't
we've been
take
better.
much. An injury here or there, or something happens. You just don't know.
And so far, we've been better predicting the NCAA tournament brackets, partly because it seems like they've been mostly chalk this year. So we don't pick a lot of upsets usually. It's hard to predict those upsets. Um, but our brackets are looking pretty solid. None of them have busted really, at least the ones that we are thinking of, keeping. We had some random ones that didn't do so well, but
Yeah,
um,
the ones that
our
we
our
seriously picked out all did pretty well.
our serious picks ones are doing very well actually.
Yeah,
Um, And so we're still in the hunt for high-ranking brackets over the course of the 3-week tournament. Um, have any teams stood out to you so far that look better maybe than you expected? Iowa State, your alma mater, is doing well, even though they lost Jefferson to injury for the first couple of games. My alma mater. The University of Arkansas is doing very well as well, although they are running into buzzsaw Arizona team coming up, so that's going to be a difficult win for them if they want to move on. Actually predicted in the one of my homer bracket, I picked Arkansas to win, but my um, more thoughtful bracket, I guess maybe less homer, I predicted Arizona to win. So that matchup's going to be big one way or the other if, in terms of where my brackets end up.
I did like that your serious bracket was still questioning itself even in its title though, because you have the what I really think question mark.
Yeah.
Is that was that a stray character there, or was that just to indicate some like a whimsy or a well, do you not really think that? What was the thought process behind that?
That's what I really think, but I wasn't quite sure because I thought I kind of basically went away from Arkansas winning,
Uh,
um, and I decided to pick what I thought Arizona maybe. Um, it says according to the ESPN site, what I really think has a 7.4 chance of winning our uh,
mm,
our our group. Uh, it actually has a 72% chance of being a top five bracket, which is, I believe, higher than any of the other uh, brackets in the Orange Power Hour database here. So that's look at that we
I
got
had
that going.
I hadn't looked at the forecast ones yet. Yeah, that's kind of That's funny. Oh, there's even like a show my path to win.
Yeah,
Interesting. I see there is kind of an oddball that's winning our pool right now. Though is a Sagarin ratings which that you used to pick the brackets. But Sagarin no longer exists, right? So
I believe Mr. Sagarin may exist still, but his rankings
the
uh,
rankings though.
or he no longer updates his rankings. So the last Sagarin ratings were from 2023. So the 23 Sagarin ratings are actually doing pretty well. Um, Although I don't think their possibility of winning is quite as good as our uh, maybe this year's power rankings would be. But so far, they've been actually a little more predictive than the net rankings or the RPI have been. So it's
So that's more about just kind of like the blue bloods, I guess, right? Like the teams
yeah,
that
or
are
how
that were
representative of
good tend to
2023.
continue to be good, even though like there's very little overlap between like top players from 2023 are unlikely to still be on any of the teams that are
No,
still there right now, 3 full seasons later. Although
yeah,
there's some, but not a lot.
and there have been some high seeded teams but it's Texas number 11, Iowa number 9. It's not like these are real Cinderella stories that are
Right.
coming through the Sweet 16. So it's mostly been historically it's all power. I think it's all Power Four, Power Five conferences,
Yeah.
um, and
Well,
um,
the bigger upsets have been from those conferences too. Yeah, because it's been very chalky so far, right? We've got 7 of the top 8 seeds. The best seeded teams are still in the tournament.
Mhm. Other than Florida, yeah,
Yeah, in the on the men's side, and then there's I think only one 2 seed I think is out on the women's side. So
yeah,
other than that, it's still 7 of the 8 best seeds still remain.
yeah. The women's bracket it seems maybe even more chalky than others. Uh, the people's bracket is actually 99.7 percentile right now.
So just the
Uh,
popular picks.
Popular picks, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's there's a 10 seed on the women's side that advanced over number 2 Iowa,
Yeah, Virginia, yeah.
and number 6 Notre Dame beat number 3 Ohio State in UConn's bracket. Other than that, there's nothing uh, worse than a 5 seed
Five, Kentucky beat
skill
West Virginia
wise.
by 1 point. Yeah. That ruined my proximity bracket for the women.
Yes.
I did pick the teams that were closest to me. But yeah, it's unfortunately both Virginia and West Virginia have lost already.
On the men's side. On the women's side, though, did you do a proximity to you on the women's side? Because then
I
you'd
did a
have gotten
proximity.
one upset correctly.
I did a proximity to me on the women's side. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's losing pretty badly.
But Virginia, you would have got the Virginia pick correct.
I would have got yeah. My location closest to me had Maryland, I believe, over Virginia in the Final Four, and then West Virginia over Villanova. And I believe none of those teams are
Hmm.
still with us.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
Maryland got knocked out by North Carolina.
located in Western Maryland. Uh, yeah, it was a better bracket than my proximity bracket in the men's tournament because at least the women's tournament had proximity at West Virginia, Maryland, some big name schools where it was mostly UMBC or Howard, I believe, in the men's bracket. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're also out. So proximity was not a good plan for me. Um, proximity for you might have been a little bit, although KU has lost, which you're happy for. Missouri is out. Iowa State is still in. Iowa's still in. Nebraska is still in. Um, Arkansas is still in. So really relatively
Yeah.
close to the city. A number of teams. Illinois still in. Um,
Yeah, a lot of Midwestern schools are still around.
yeah,
I'm okay with that. Pretty happy with that.
and but you're probably most happy with the SCAF's nightmare bracket.
Although it's still sitting at number three because it had a very good first two rounds.
Yeah, my
Because you needed Iowa State to advance, of which they have, but uh, KU could not had to advance as well, and then that did not go in that bracket's favor. Yes, because you
no.
engineered them meeting in the final, even right?
Yes, I did have KU defeating Iowa State in the final to make your nightmare come true.
Ugh.
But also had Iowa going to the final in my KU in your nightmare bracket. So that's another team that you wouldn't probably want to go to the final for over
I
Iowa
would.
State.
I'm okay with them beating Florida because it's like that was like a matchup that I don't really care for either team, but in the Scavs Nightmare scenario, yes, that Iowa definitely would have won that one too because I don't want them to win. But that's one of those I'd be conflicted on because I don't really like either of those teams. But somebody had to lose, so that's fine, I guess, right?
Yes.
Oh well. Well, between you and I, we have the what you really think in my first attempt brackets are sitting tied right now, at number four on our in our pool, which I think is kind of interesting, right? That we both picked up brackets independently, and then they're tied after two rounds.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So nobody has like taken charge, taken the dominant lead early.
No.
But one of my brackets did. I had 15 of 16 picks on the first day, and then it has not done well after that. It's
Yeah.
done okay, but not. It did not continue at that pace, Mike.
No. That's unfortunate, but that's how it
Uh,
goes. It's hard to keep this the very fast pace up, and you never know what's going to happen. Um, yeah, um, my Big 12, our Big 12 dream scenario bracket that I picked also had 29 out of the first 32 wins, but then only had 16, 8 out of the 16,
mm,
16 teams. So, um, it had a very good start, but then faded into mediocrity. Um,
it still has a
but
relatively high final potential then, because there's still a lot of the Big 12 schools are still in it.
yeah, I believe it's ineligible to win though. It's not going to be able to win because
Oh,
some of the
really?
one of the other teams is going to be above it because there's some other Arizona teams that
Yeah,
Arizona.
there was a popular pick to win it, I guess, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Right now, Jay Billis is doing the best of the celebrities that are in our bracket, doing better than Stephen A. and even better than the
that's all
People's
the
bracket.
celebrities in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you had Pomeroy rankings too, I guess.
Pomeroy. We did Pomeroy. We did the
Is he
net rank.
considered a celebrity or is he just a
I believe
rankings?
it's just a ranking. We had Pomeroy net rankings. Those are all also going to be pretty high. So. Um,
The 2023 Sagarin is beating this year's Pomeroy, though. Do you find that odd?
A little bit. As
Because there is still some randomness, and it's still blue bloods that tend to
yeah,
recur every year and be they're decent teams every year. It's unless there's like crazy upsets, then that would throw off the 2023 one.
yeah. And the
But
2023
that
Saga race, they have Connecticut winning. They also have Texas, Alabama, and Houston in the Final Four,
is
which
still a possibility to be,
possibility for all four of those teams. Yeah,
uh, although some of them could be in the same bracket, I guess, right? Maybe they're on the same
yeah.
side.
Well, Texas has to beat Arizona. Texas is still in it. They can if they beat Arizona and Purdue, they will be in it. So te yeah, Alabama. The final four for the Sagarin is Connecticut over Houston, Alabama over Texas, and then UConn over Alabama.
Yeah, they're in. Yeah, they actually are all in separate
Yeah,
brackets, so they could end up all in the. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, that's kind of odd. A lot of times, some of those teams could end up in the same.
yeah. Well, the way I picked it was I had to pick it in that way, so that I had
Yeah,
so that's just how they ended up being. But we'll see how it goes. And so we have 2 more weeks of bracketology to look forward to, men's and women's. Seems like the women's side, most people are predicting Connecticut to win. They're undefeated this year, so they don't look like they're going to go away anytime soon.
yeah.
Um,
But I think
they,
they're looking for something like their seventh undefeated season under Gino Auriemma.
wow,
So that's insane though, isn't it?
yeah,
That's a longevity of domination there, and that's pretty tough to beat there. Like nobody wants to face them, do they?
no, no.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, should we wrap up this week's episode of the Power Hour?
I think
Since
so.
we've discussed we haven't discussed the world of entertainment really, but I guess our entertainment right now is coming from college basketball. But we do have moving forward. There's going to be, more TV to watch, more movies to come out. We could find something if you wanted, or we also have the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs getting ready to resume to uh, to get underway fairly soon as well. We have the NFL draft, Major League Baseball season starting, so we've got a lot of sports coming up. Um, and so, yeah, so that's uh, good spring action we've got coming on. So. Um, yeah, like I said, we'll wrap up this week's episode of the Power Hour. As always, I am Dr. Michael Werman. He is Dr. Andrew Scaff. We are the Morning Trek Power Hour. Please like and or subscribe to our YouTube channel, available on YouTube, and or our podcast, available on many different podcast delivery platforms, including the one you're likely using right now if you're listening to us on a podcast. Um, and we're excited to see how our brackets turn out. Is that we're both Andrew and I are both in contention with our main brackets to win the group. So we're still gonna be. We'll see how those turn out. Our more gimmicky brackets have fallen by the wayside, so it seems like our when we're intentional about making our picks, we've been doing very well
Yeah,
this year. So maybe that shows that we are somewhat expert when it comes to college basketball. Maybe not as expert as uh,
certain
the pundits,
experts.
the real experts like Jay Billis or somebody like that. But
Yeah,
uh, we can at least hold our own and hold our heads up at least so far.
the
Um,
TV personalities.
especially when it's mostly chalky teams that are winning right now. So it seems that's I like when the better teams win. I like some upsets every once in a while, but I'm not. I'd rather have the better teams in the at the end. And so far, it looks like this tournament's going to have that. There have been a few upsets here and there, but
Yeah,
hasn't been too crazy.
no super high. They're like 15, 14, 13s advancing. Yeah.
No.
111, 1-9. Nothing crazy.
And the 11 is Texas, and the 9 is Iowa. So they're both power
Sort of bluish
teams.
bloods.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Right.
Well, we look forward to next week. We also wish you the best of luck if you're making more bets this weekend, as long as your bets not conflict with ours. But it's the tournament, so you can kind of do whatever you want. We'll see what happens if it's craziness this week or if it's just more chalk. Um, I think both of us are rooting for Big 12 teams to do well. Houston, um, Iowa State, and Arizona are all the three Big 12 teams remaining in the Sweet 16, and all three of them have looks like a good shot at winning, um, their brackets, their quarters of the bracket. So,
And they don't
um,
have to meet until the Final Four, the
or-
earliest.
yeah. So we'll see how that
That's
goes.
that's good.
I want Arkansas to sneak in there, but I'm also predicting Arizona to win the whole thing, so I'm kind of torn that
Yeah.
way. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. Anything you're looking forward to this next couple of weeks, Dr. Scaff? Are you
I
rooting
got the
for chaos? Are
Royals
you
home
rooting?
opener. Well,
Yeah,
I'll be at the Royals home opener on Monday. Well, that's something to look forward to. But yeah, definitely yeah, Cyclones against Tennessee Friday night, late game. Looking forward to that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's going to be a big sports weekend, for sure.
good week. Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, loyal viewers, loyal listeners, loyal observers of any type. We appreciate your viewership, your patronage, your listenership, and we at the One Trick Power Hour are excited to have you, and we'll be back again next week with another exciting episode of the One Trick Power Hour. So until next week, loyal followers, we will wish you a good day.